solid, man. Carl. Jesus. Say something. Hey. Carl. It's Carl freaking Headblaster, man. I never thought that I'd see this guy again.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus.
11:55. 5 moments till midnight.
There's no fog bank out there.
Oh, but there is an audience out there.
There is an audience.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Doomgoryum Report number 58.
58.
Brought to you by the guys from Doomgoryum's Horror Emporium.
Yes. Happy? Wax?
The illustrious return of Carl Headblaster.
This is Carl Headblaster.
Hello.
Mrs. Axmaster.
And I am Axmaster. That's Jimmy over there. Captain Jim. Colonel Jim.
Yes.
And as our friend Carl Headblaster just pointed out, the illustrious return of
Yes.
Carl Headblaster.
The unthawed Carl Headblaster.
How's your finger?
It's still a little bit bent, but
We kind of bet that
it's
one.
coming
Bring it up.
back.
If you guys haven't noticed, there's a vignette on our channel about the return of Carl Headblaster. We
Yes.
come across him in some rather unusual, top secret missions, and here he is in the flesh.
After
Yes.
the 9-hour debriefing.
And if you didn't get the hint in our little opening segment there about the fog bank, tonight's review is on
The fog.
John Carpenter's The Fog.
Classic.
yes.
Yes, not the remake, which you've heard of us talk about a lot. This is the 1980. Let me see here. It's the 1980. Oh, I've got the thing up there. Jeez. Well, that's not right. It's the 1980 version of The Fog, as opposed to the remake in 2005, which
Yes.
really blew chunks.
Big
And,
time.
and may
Okay.
I say, one of the best opening scenes to a horror movie too.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Okay, so in the it's John Carpenter.
Yep.
And in the cast, in this original version, we have Adrienne Barbeau
This is KB Antonio Bay. Stevie Wayne here. And let me be the first to wish Antonio Bay a happy birthday.
as Stevie Wayne, Jamie Lee Curtis,
I think I'll go to Vancouver now.
who was obviously one of Mr. Carpenter's favorite actresses back in the day, as Elizabeth Soley, Janet Leigh,
Antonio Bay has a curse on it.
who's Jamie Lee's mom, as Kathy Williams, John Houseman as Mr. Matchman, Mackin.
11:55.
And John Houseman does a great story at the beginning. He's
Yeah.
only in it for 5 minutes, but it's awesome.
Yep.
And Tom Atkins as Nick Castle.
Some water got in here, but something awful cold did.
So, yeah. Oh, and I should say, what was her name? She's in a lot of.
What's the father's name?
Yes, Hal Holbrook.
Blake, I have your gold.
Hal Holbrook is Father Malone.
Legend.
Yeah. So he was in it, and can't forget him. Right. Okay.
I am Father Malone.
So, anyways, The Fog.
Gave me nightmares as a kid. I loved it. I've seen it, I don't even know how many times. And we did invite Chappie Quick down for this one because he kind of disappointed us yesterday. He's giving Carl Headblaster here on his return. He's giving him the gears because he hasn't seen Prince of Darkness. Sure enough, guess who hasn't seen The Fog? Chappie Quick.
Well, right now he's out. We made him have to battle the flesh-eating slugs that are loose in the
Teach him
in
a
the,
lesson.
Peruvian rainforest, just to teach him a lesson for that kind of thing. But he did help in the rescue of
Yes, he did.
of Carl Headblaster. So,
Much appreciated.
but yeah, I have to say, for me, this movie is one of my favorite movies. Actually, I could watch this movie. I probably have watched it at least 100 times,
Oh, yeah.
and I could watch it another 100 because it is an absolutely classic ghost story.
Yep.
Right down to the, to the story, the way Mr. Mackin or John Houseman tells the story at the beginning, at the very opening of the movie,
Yep.
and to the point where the little boy finds the Stevie Wayne's son finds the the gold doubloon.
Yep.
And then a wave washes in. It turns into a piece of wood with the Elizabeth Dane written on it. Like, and just everything. It's so classic. It's almost like he took it out of a an Edgar Allan Poe story or something, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then of course they have that the Edgar Allan Poe thing is everything we see but see or seem but a dream within a dream at the beginning. You know. So I mean, it's so classic. And then I'll just jump right to the rating for me. This movie is like, it's a 10. I have to say you're not supposed to say that, but for me it's a 10 because it's just that awesome. So if you're looking to watch a really good ghost story, don't watch the remake, because the remake is just CGI garbage, and this is that's what happens.
Horrible.
It's from horror's heyday. I think.
Well, this was John Carpenter in his finest time too, right? Because he just came off of Halloween, and then he followed up with The Fog, and then he did Halloween 2, and then I think he did.
And what a follow-up.
Yeah, and then a couple other movies, and then he did The Thing. But I mean, this movie's it's classic. I mean, and I said yesterday too after we watched it, like the score of the movie really makes the movie for me. Like, it's an awesome ghost story. It's fantastic, but the dread of the music throughout the whole movie is, I mean, that makes it for me is the score. It was pretty awesome. So, and it was cast really well, and like even the characters, like the pirates, you never really see them.
My grandfather stole it from you. I'm the one who must answer for it.
You know, even when you do see them, they're just figures. You don't get a close. Well, there's one scene where Barbeau slashes the guy in the face, but that's just, you know what I mean. But you never really see them, and it's just I don't know. Even when they're outside the door and they're walking up, like, you can hear like the shackles, and like, it's just everything about this movie was done. There's not a lot of movies come along where you can't really nitpick about something, but really I mean, given the time it was done in, like there's really not a whole lot you can pick apart of this movie. It was 10 for me. 10 for me.
For me, it was I know it's quite a statement, but it was the epitome of any ghost movie I've ever seen. It's like the best ghost movie I've ever seen. And my favorite parts was in the lighthouse, when that piece of wood that Axemaster mentioned started to leach water out of it.
Yeah.
And then you hear like the background, it's like it goes
Yeah,
slow,
yeah.
and then she turns around and it says 6 must die.
Yeah.
It was burning. Like,
Yeah.
that for me was wicked.
Yeah.
And
It just has everything, man. It's got the ghost thing. It's got the lost and hidden treasure. It's got the curse 100 years later. Like, I mean, this one is a masterpiece. It's just
it is.
And
amazing.
There's no real slow part to the movie. You know what I mean? No. It's just, from the get-go, it's just, there's no real pausing. It's just everything.
It's even got ghost ships.
Yeah.
You know, like stories about old ones, and then a current one. Like, it's just amazing. It's like a Scooby-Doo. It's like every great Scooby-Doo episode rolled into one with more, more serious stuff in it.
And just the continuity of the story, like, it's just from front to back, just like you said, a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I'd have to say 10 ghost ships out of 10.
10 ghost ships
10
out of
ghost
10.
ships out of
There you
10.
go. You have there you have it. See, now we said we were going to do 3 John Carpenter classics for the people who like to see the older flicks instead of the newer ones that we were doing for a while. So stay tuned for more Doomgoryum Report.
John Carpenter edition.
John Carpenter edition, and give us a hand for Carl Headlaster being back. And
it's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's all right. So we, he's going to be shipping out on reassignment, of course, because fighting evil never ends.
Yes.
Kids, never. Especially down here in the dungeon. And Carl is a fighter of evil from way back, so we're lucky to have him for a while, and
It's good to
whenever
see
he
you.
can pop in,
Yes.
we'll have to
Stay
do it.
scared.
That's correct. Stay scared.
Stay scared.
11:55. Almost midnight. Enough time for one more story. One more story before 12. Just to keep us warm. In 5 minutes, it'll be the 21st of April. 100 years ago, on the 21st of April, out in the waters around Spivey Point, a small clipper ship drew toward land. Suddenly, out of the night, the fog rolled in. For a moment, they could see nothing, not a foot ahead of them. And then they saw a light. My God, it was a fire burning on the shore, strong enough to penetrate the swirling mist. They steered a course toward the light, but it was a campfire like this one. The ship crashed against the rocks. The hull sheared in two. The mast snapped like a twig, and the wreckage sank with all the men aboard. At the bottom of the sea lay the Elizabeth Dane with her crew, their lungs filled with salt water, their eyes open and staring into the darkness. And above, as suddenly as it had come, the fog lifted, receded back across the ocean, and never came again. But it is told by the fishermen and their fathers and grandfathers that when the fog returns to Antonio Bay, the men at the bottom of the sea, out in the water by Spivey Point, will rise up and search for the campfire that led them to their dark and icy death. 12 o'clock, the 21st of